Oh, that new car smell. Now in this video, we get the opportunity to touch, feel, smell, and also drive the new automatic 70 series 4-cylinder. No bonnet scoop on the bonnet. First thing you notice looking out. Okay, we still got that seatbelt buzzer. The initial takeoff, just so effortless. So I've pulled up, not long after taking off. You've got your outside temperature like the Fortuner has. The dash is pretty cool. And you've got your volume for your radio. It's basically the Fortuner, I guess, or Hilux steering wheel. But the other thing you notice, it's revving quite high. So the cab seems to be sort of vibrating a little bit. I'm not sure if it's the two-piece snorkel. Generally, one of the first mods I do is to put a single-piece snorkel on. But sitting in it, looking at it, the vision is still the same. You've got the box here for the pre-collision system. You've got an extra cup holder. The console is exactly the same as it was. Very importantly, you've got your old school shifter. I'm not sure what you do. Probably have to put in park to go into low range. So here we are in a low range. But a whole heap of things came on. So your traction control came off, just like it would on my model. But then all your other safety gear, the VSC's turned off, and the pre-collision brake system is unavailable. Wow, that's low. That is really low. That feels cool, like you could rock crawl in that. Now I don't know if that feels lower than the manual in low range, or whether it's the auto doing its thing. So this is where I've always said, Phil, in the 200 when we wheel in our cruisers, his just seems to be effortless with the auto. I mean, you got the option now of using your left foot on the brake when you're climbing rocks. So you've got your lockers as you would have in the Prime model. So I'm looking at this vehicle as a user, as somebody that goes off-road, puts it in low range, uses that button there. Just like the Fortuner, honestly, it just feels like you're driving Shell's car. So this vehicle doesn't actually have a tow bar, unfortunately, so it's not like we can test it towing. But you can see the dash it's pretty out there. Come a fair distance with that dash, I tell you, in a 70 series. So this has lane assist. I mean, I'm assuming everything underneath, I haven't had a good look underneath, is exactly the same. The steering feels the same, except you're holding a really nice steering wheel. And the power, that's pretty much what you expect out of an auto. I'm still skeptical about how it's going to tow, how it's going to rev. The new car smell puts a smile on the face, that's for sure. Wow. So the silver's metallic, it probably always was. But now the wheels are in graphite, not silver. But this is the exact same tray that I'm running. We've got oil pressure, fuel, temperature, and voltage. So no extra info there. We've got power. We've got USB ports. Oh, look at that gearing. So it looks like with the DPF, you hit the DPF button, it'll tell you manual regeneration unavailable, but there's your gauge. So I'm assuming when it gets to the red, it'll come back down and burn it all. And again, between 100 and 300 kilometers, the book says. So now the temptation's there to take this vehicle away. The only pity is that he registered it yesterday. So you're limited to what you can do as far as your pre-rego stuff, suspension. Now I called Marks, and they're pretty sure that the portals will actually fit because the diffs aren't that much different. But because it's a different motor, you've got bracketry that goes under the hood in particular spots. So until they get themselves one of these 2.8 autos and fit it all up, they don't know. I gave ARB a call, because you need a bull bar, don't you? So they're saying second quarter of 24, so you could be mid-year for that. So I really love how it drove. It was easy, it had plenty of power, but you know, I only drove it for 10 minutes. I've had the V8s now since 2016, both the DPF and pre-DPF. I've had both those models, towing bullet truck for hundreds, thousands of kilometers. I know the longevity of the V8. Now this GD motor, the 2.8, it's the same one that's in the Hilux and the Prado and the Fortuner. So yes, the intercooler is a little bit different, but it's still the GD to my knowledge. And I've watched a few tests, but has it really been out long enough to test it? Towing 3 tonne. I mean, a test for me would be to hook up the car trailer, throw bullet on, and go and tow it up Mount Victoria. We know with shells that it blows the intercooler hose off when you really push it up big hills. It's got the power. Now, I don't think that that intercooler setup is the same on the 79, but for me, that's a test. So sticking it into low range there and testing it, that's also a test for the real user. So there was a button on the dash that was second start. Now, you would pretty much use that when you're in low range and you don't want to start in first gear. So there was a lot of fancy stuff in it, but a lot of it you can turn off. Most of your controls are done through the steering wheel, which I'm kind of used to now with the Fortuner. Imagine that out of all our cars for bullet truck to be the biggest motor. So this one looks like it would sort of be put on the shelf until all these accessories are available. I mean, suspension wouldn't be a problem. Now, I got the 285s on the silver wheels, which I feel would look better on silver rather than the graphite. Feel a bit of rock rash on that graphite would look terrible. And I think the 285s would fit straight under that. But as Shell said to me, I've always said I'd never buy the first of a series. But really, it's only the motor and box that have changed. And they're not new completely to Toyota. Also, for those of you that are buying these 79s for towing, the GVM of the 4-cylinder is the same as the V8 at 3510. The 4-cylinder to the V8 is there's 130 kilo difference in tare weight. So that's 130 kilos of extra payload. So in my case, I've got 280 kilos of ball weight. Fill the tray up with spare parts or motorbikes, whatever it is that we're going to do. We put 300 or 400 kilos in the tray, or put a fifth person in the back seat. I really can't see you going over that GVM. You've got that 130 kilos of leeway now over the V8. But the difference between the GVM and the tare weight with the 4-cylinder, I believe for most people, it's safe. Even a 2.5 tonne caravan, you probably only got 180 kilos of ball weight. It's just with bullet truck, we've got the car right up against the nose. So we do end up having a little bit more than 10% of what we're towing as ball weight. So I hope you enjoyed this little preview, and as always, thanks for watching.